Breaking news! The Detroit Lions may have just made one of the smartest moves in the NFL, and if you're not paying attention, you might miss just how brilliant it is. Get ready because we're going to talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell right off the bat. Before we start, make sure you've already hit the like button, but only do that if you're a true Detroit Lions fan. If possible, write something like this: Go Lions! Let's go to the Super Bowl. Now come with me. I want to start by talking about something very important. It's not a flashy trade or a shocking draft pick. It's something even more powerful: financial strategy. And trust me, this could change the way other teams approach their contracts. Let's break it down. Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best wide receivers in the league, signed a massive 4-year, $120 million extension last April. At the time, some people thought it was a lot of money. But guess what? The Lions saw the future before anyone else. Because today, just 1 year later, St. Brown's contract isn't even in the top 5 among wide receivers. That's right. Ja'Marr Chase just signed a new deal with the Bengals that exceeds St. Brown's by at least $10 million per season. So why is this so important? Because the salary cap is always rising. The longer you wait to pay your stars, the more expensive they become. The Bengals could have locked up Chase early, just like Detroit did with St. Brown, but they didn't. And now they're paying the price. Literally. The Lions, they jumped the gun. They extended St. Brown and Penei Sewell the second they could on Talty, and now what seemed like a great contract a year ago looks like a bargain. That's how you win in the NFL, and it doesn't stop there. Detroit has more young stars who will eventually need new contracts. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams, Sam LaPorta, Aidan Hutchinson, Brian Branch, Jack Campbell. These guys are the future. And when the time comes, you can bet that the Lions won't wait around and let the market explode. They'll do exactly what they did with St. Brown and Sewell, get the deals done early and save millions in the long run. This kind of foresight is why Brad Holmes and the Lions front office deserve so much credit. They've built a team that can develop young talent, and more importantly, they have a plan to keep them together. We've seen teams fall apart because they didn't plan ahead. Cincinnati is feeling that pain right now. Other teams will too, but not the Lions. Now let's talk about what comes next. Free agency is mostly wrapped up, and the draft is on the horizon. What do the Lions need? Defense, defense, defense. The biggest hole left on this team is on the defensive line, and luckily for Detroit, this draft is loaded with talent at that position. The Lions hold the 28th pick, and they could easily take an edge rusher there. Marcus Davenport is back, but let's be real. He hasn't shown he can stay healthy. If he does, great. If not, Detroit needs insurance on the edge opposite Hutchinson. And speaking of the rest of the NFC North, do any of these teams really scare you? The Packers? Their wide receiver room is a mess. The Vikings? Their defense won't keep Jared Goff up at night. The Bears? They're intriguing but unproven. Detroit is still the team to beat in this division. Then there's the latest power rankings from PFF. Detroit sits right behind the Ravens and Eagles. That's right, the Lions are officially in the NFL's elite tier, and when you look at what's happening, it makes sense. Carlton Davis is gone, but the Lions added DJ Reed, one of PFF's top-rated cornerbacks in free agency. Aidan Hutchinson is back. Alim McNeill is coming back. This team is getting healthy at the right time, and if they crush the draft, they're going to be even more dangerous. Look at what the Lions have done over the last few drafts. The 2023 class? Absolutely historic. The 2022 class? Unreal. And in 2021, they found 2 potential Hall of Famers in Sewell and St. Brown. If Hutchinson and Gibbs live up to their potential, this could be the core of a championship team.
They're not just reacting to the market, they're staying ahead of it. They're thinking 2, 3, even 4 years ahead. And that's what championship teams do. And let's not forget about the NFC landscape, because right now, the Lions have a legitimate path to a Super Bowl. The 49ers are still a juggernaut, but they're not invincible. The Eagles? They've lost key pieces on defense, and Jalen Hurts took a step back last season. The Cowboys? Well, let's just say we know how their seasons tend to end. The Lions, on the other hand, are built to last. They have one of the best offensive lines in football, a quarterback in Jared Goff who's playing the best football of his career, and a defense that's only getting better. So, here's the real question. Are we watching the beginning of a dynasty? Because everything the Lions are doing right now suggests that this isn't just a one-year run. This is a foundation. This is sustainable. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Lions are outsmarting the rest of the NFL? Are they setting themselves up to be a perennial powerhouse? And who do you want them to target in the draft? Let me know in the comments, and as always, we'll see you in the next one. And here's where things get even more exciting, because it's not just about what the Lions have already done. It's about what they're about to do. This team isn't just playing the game, they're rewriting a playbook on how to build a sustained contender in the modern NFL. Think about where this franchise was just a few years ago, stuck in a cycle of mediocrity, bad contracts, and draft picks that never lived up to the hype. Fast forward to today, and you have a front office that knows exactly what it's doing. Every move has a purpose, every contract is structured with the future in mind. Every draft pick is made with a long-term vision. So let's talk about the biggest upcoming decision, Jared Goff. Because whether you love him or still have your doubts, one thing is clear, he's earned the right to be this team's franchise quarterback. The question now is, how do the Lions handle his next contract? He's going to want top-tier money, and if Detroit waits too long, they'll end up paying even more, just like the Bengals did with Jahmyr Chase. So here's my question to you, how far do you think this team can go? Are we looking at a Super Bowl run in 2024? Or is this just the beginning of something even bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, we'll see you in the next one. They're not just reacting to the market, they're staying ahead of it. They're thinking 2, 3, even 4 years ahead. And that's what championship teams do. And let's not forget about the NFC landscape, because right now, the Lions have a legitimate path to a Super Bowl. The 49ers are still a juggernaut, but they're not invincible. The Eagles? They've lost key pieces on defense, and Jalen Hurts took a step back last season. The Cowboys? Well, let's just say we know how their seasons tend to end. The Lions, on the other hand, are built to last. They have one of the best offensive lines in football, a quarterback in Jared Goff who's playing the best football of his career, and a defense that's only getting better. So, here's the real question. Are we watching the beginning of a dynasty? Because everything the Lions are doing right now suggests that this isn't just a one-year run. This is a foundation. This is sustainable. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Lions are outsmarting the rest of the NFL? Are they setting themselves up to be a perennial powerhouse? And who do you want them to target in the draft? Let me know in the comments, and as always, we'll see you in the next one. And here's where things get even more exciting, because it's not just about what the Lions have already done. It's about what they're about to do. This team isn't just playing the game, they're rewriting a playbook on how to build a sustained contender in the modern NFL. Think about where this franchise was just a few years ago, stuck in a cycle of mediocrity, bad contracts, and draft picks that never lived up to the hype. Fast forward to today, and you have a front office that knows exactly what it's doing. Every move has a purpose, every contract is structured with the future in mind. Every draft pick is made with a long-term vision. So let's talk about the biggest upcoming decision, Jared Goff. Because whether you love him or still have your doubts, one thing is clear, he's earned the right to be this team's franchise quarterback. The question now is, how do the Lions handle his next contract? He's going to want top-tier money, and if Detroit waits too long, they'll end up paying even more, just like the Bengals did with Jahmyr Chase. So here's my question to you, how far do you think this team can go? Are we looking at a Super Bowl run in 2024? Or is this just the beginning of something even bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.